Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call to order the special board meeting for July 14th, 2022. Can I have a roll call, please?
Kelly Jensen present.
Paul Jeff here.
Brianna Texoni here.
Chad Wadsworth here.
Tim Jorgensen here. Let the record show that all members are present. Item 1C, regular board meeting agenda. Can I have a motion to consider?
Kelly Jensen, so moved.
A second.
Brianna seconds. Dr. Zahaki.
Mr. Jorgensen, we don't have any changes to the agenda. Thank you.
Board member discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Paul Jeff, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. The motion is carried. Item 2A, public participation. Dr. Zahaki.
We don't have any public comment cards pulled at this time, Mr. Jorgensen.
Thank you. Item 3A, closed session discussion items. Conference with labor negotiators, public employee discussion, discipline, dismissal, release, conference with legal counsel, student matters. Motion to consider, please.
Kelly Jensen, so moved.
I'll second.
Brianna seconds. Board member discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Paul Jeff, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. The motion is approved. We will adjourn to close session at 6:32. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're reconvening the regular board meeting at 7:51 PM. This is on, so let me make sure I can read this correctly. If everyone could join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Right hand over your heart, ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Fallsgraf, could you read the civility statement for me, please?
When conducting the district's business, we shall strive to communicate clearly and concisely, respect for the time of others, listen objectively, carefully considering the opinions of others, understand the counterproductive effects of disruptive, demeaning, and intimidating behaviors, understand and respect district policies and procedures, and maintain respect for the rich history of the district and the efforts of others who have served us in the past.
Thank you, Mr. Fallsgraf. Report of Act 5A, report of action taken in closed session. The board will consider and may act on any of the following items in closed session. Any action taken in closed session will be reported in open session as required by law. Closed session may be called at any time during a formal meeting by a motion of the Board of Education for the purposes of discussing personnel problem, pupil problem, a purchase, consultation on a legal problem, and or attorney, and with employee organizations in regard to salaries and or fringe benefits. All informal action involving such matters must be made in an open meeting. It's my responsibility to report that during closed session, the board has approved a recommendation from staff to accept the settlement for student number 615-661-4182. The vote on that approval was 3-1-1.
Jim,
Yes, board member discussion. Ms. Jensen?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Fallsgraf?
no pros on. I am going to be very, very careful, very careful. These words are very measured. Let's start off by saying I voted no.
Can everybody hear me? It's important that everyone hears me. I voted no. With the utmost respect for the student and the team that supports that student. And the team that supports that student are required to do so by federal and state law, not to mention the policies of this board itself. I have the utmost personal respect for the counselors that served this decision on both sides for both parties, because I have personal experience with each. I had an interest in seeing this go to the next level, because at the next level provides a means of a public record for the case facts to be known, printed, and understood by the public. And within those case facts is identified responsibility to be known, accountabilities to be assigned, and recompense sought on behalf of the students of this district, all of the students of this district, especially the student in this case. Thank you.
Ms. Texon?
I will just state that I did abstain from this vote because I did not feel that I personally had all of the information that I felt I needed at the time that the vote was called for. So I did abstain.
Mr. Fallsgraf, Mr. Bosworth?
I have nothing to add.
And I have no further comments. 6A, public comments, recognitions, and reports. Dr. Zahakian?
At this time, folks, we don't have any public comment cards pulled. Thank you.
Thank you. 7A, presentation, California Cadet Corps. This is a presentation only. Dr. Zahakian?
Yes, presentation only. So good evening, everybody. I just want to share that the California Cadet Corps program was formed in 1911. They typically serve grades 4th through 12th grade. And we're looking to start up the program over at Vasquez for our 9th through 12th grade students in the fall. The California Cadet program, similar to ROTC, don't necessarily emphasize just the military path, but they put an importance and exposure to higher education and career pathways. The curriculum is posted on their website, which covers exposure to structure, organizational skills, time management, as well as higher education post-secondary options. The California Cadet elective, if approved by our trustees, is part of the A through G requirements. It is approved as a G requirement, which is college preparatory elective. So it's in the favor of our students who would potentially take this class. So district's commitment would be to provide the instructor, which would be a CT instructor part-time, the classroom and storage space in the classroom for materials, equipment, supplies for the cadets. And with that, we do have a presentation by California Cadet Sergeant Sorkin. Hope he's there. If he is, thank you, Sergeant Sorkin, for your patience. And we'll turn it over to you.
Well, can you all hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we just had a storm roll through here and it always seems to mess up the Wi-Fi in this place. So, but Dr. Shahakian pretty much is stealing my thunder here. I was going to give you kind of a brief of the California Cadet Corps, which is a developing leader since 1911. Back then, actually, the California Cadet Corps was required in all high schools in the state of California. It is a youth program for the National Guard. We do not push our cadets to go in the military. What we do is push our cadets to higher education, whether that be formal or in the trades. As far as what we do for you is we supply all the curriculum, we supply all of the uniforms, all of the color guard gear, all of the training for your instructor at our cost. So basically, the only thing that costs the district or the school anything is the instructor itself. And wondered about that back in the day. And I kept questioning Sacramento on it. And I finally got an answer that made sense to me. If we supply everything for the district and the school, they have no skin in the game. So basically, what we makes this program successful is administration and the instructor. We do not have the same kind of limitations that JROTC does, where you must have at least 10% or 100 students enrolled in the program. Otherwise, they put you on probation and then they shut your program down. We do not do that. We are there for you. It's not the other way around. We're there for the students. We're there to help them to develop the leadership tools to carry them on to their futures. And I noticed the motto for the district, and it kind of hit me that we're very similar. We are here to develop leaders. And I know that you probably have questions as far as one of those fancy presentations with all the PowerPoint and so on and so forth. I'm sorry, I'm just an old soldier and I'm not quite that technologically advanced, but I'm working on it. I finally figured out how to get Zoom on the computer. So Actually, my wife did. What really wasn't me. I can't take credit where it's not due. But I'm sure you have some questions at the time. As Eric said, this is an A through G. It falls under G. It is a college prep. It can also be used as PE credit. So fire away. What questions might you have?
I don't have any questions. I was just going to point out it is PE credits because at first I didn't think we were going to talk about that, but thank you. I'm excited. I think that's great. You touched on something that I think is very important, and that is teaching leadership skills to our students. No matter what path they want to follow, I think leadership skills are very important. It helps you in several areas. So thank you very much. And tell
It's
your
my
wife-
pleasure. One thing I would like to touch on about the leadership skills. I'm also an educator. In fact, I ran a military academy for 7th through 12th grade for 10 years in the Tulare County area. We do more than teach leadership skills. I've seen many different leadership programs, and they teach you the principles and they teach you the rules, but they never really let you use it. The thing is that the California Cadet Corps, everything that they are taught in leadership, they implement from day one.
Thank you.
Dennis, is it? Dennis, I'm Ken Polsgraf. I'm familiar with military recruiters. I've talked to several. They told me that the Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, and other individuals be waiting for me on my Sealy Posturepedic mattress when I hit boot camp. That turned out to be a lie. You seem very calm, like a military recruiter. You're not one of these people that has people exercising with logs and call it motivational training, and or waking people up with garbage cans and batons and then locking them in the shower for 12 hours. Are you?
Not for a lot of years. I will tell you, my military career, I was a drill instructor back in the day. But yeah, you know, we kind of, even the military doesn't do that anymore.
Well, so what? I'm not gonna send my kids to you then. Okay, next.
So this would be a period out of the student's day, so they would meet for one period daily? Or is this an after-school thing or a zero period, or what does this look like in the student's day?
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Taxani. Sorry, Sergeant Sorkin, I know we had that discussion. That was one of my questions in our preliminary discussions. So it could be offered at any time so that, you know, we get optimal, interest. But in speaking with our wonderful counseling team at Vasquez, they're preparing the school site schedule. It could be 0 period, it could be a 7th period as well. And dependent on the availability of the CT teacher who will facilitate the elective as well. So there's flexibility there. But I'll turn it over to Sergeant Sorkin. He can answer that as well.
Okay, as far as when to have the program, as stated, we are A through G, which means you only get credit if it's part of your curriculum. If it's used as an after-school program, it is no longer part of the curriculum. Now, not that far from you, over in Rosemont, they have at the high school and the middle school, they run it for 5 periods a day in both schools.
That's Barbara.
What does a typical class session, if we're talking it, so the kids would go into like a class period, what does a typical class look like? Would it be outside? Is it going to be physical? Is it an in-class type of situation? What does it look like for our students?
Well, the beauty of the program is that it can be customized to fit the goals and the direction that campus wants to go with the cadets. If you want it to be more physical, it can be. If you want it to be more disciplined, it can be. If you want it to be more academic, it can be designed that way. All of our curriculum is online. It is open right now. Anybody who wants to access it, please do. We are extremely transparent. I like it to be more rounded. So basically hitting on the academics as well as physical responsibility, focus, discipline, leadership. But before you can reach that point, you have to learn followership. So it's teamwork. It's building these young people to understand about followership, about leadership, about teamwork, about discipline, about responsibility, ethics. All of those things we want our children to learn. And believe me, I know about that because I have 9 children of my own. So I have my own squad.
Mhm.
And if I could just interject, Sergeant Sirkin is absolutely correct. Some of the categories or the course content includes citizenship. Within citizenship, we have diversity component, which is wonderful. Study skills. Within the leadership component, there's character development, all the way through study skills as well as leadership skills and planning, hence time management. And there's a component for wellness as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I really have no questions for you. I do think that having a place for kids, youth to learn some leadership is a good thing. So if everybody else supports it, I'm on board with it too. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your presentation.
It is my pleasure.
Go ahead, Brandon.
I'm so sorry, I have one more question. Will this program be open to all students or is there an application process?
All right. The program is open to everybody. In fact, on a couple of our campuses, we have special needs kids, which are part of the program. We have, in fact, at Rosemont, I'm going to use Rosemont again. I have a cadet over there that has a service dog that goes with him every place that he goes. As far as males and females, now you're going to love this part. 20% of our cadets are female. 60% of the leadership positions in the Cadet Corps are filled by females. So in 1972, I believe it was, Cadet Corps opened up and became co-ed. Now, if a cadet is not doing his work academically and his grades drop, we will put him on a probationary, but the thing is, we will also help him to get those grades up.
Thank you.
Dennis, okay, so now I get to touch base here as a former drill sergeant myself. I worked part-time for Cal State University, and I had a teacher candidate at Roseman, and that's where I first saw these students walking around in their California cadet uniform, and they were in the biology class where my candidate was. On periodic days I would visit, there'd be 3 or 4 girls and boys, and one of them happened to be sitting next to me, and I got in trouble because I started talking to him during the lesson, and I was impressed with the calmness and the communication skills that they were willing to engage with adults, which I really thought was exceptional for young people to talk to adults with a level of discourse that is inquisitive, that is confident, that is calm. And I came back and talked with Dr. Zahaki, and I said, I've never heard of this program, but you need to look into it because I was very impressed. I didn't see the student. I'd walk around campus each time I was there. So, to me, it's about leadership, character, integrity, ethics, team building. And that's something that particularly as we recover from the pandemic of the last 2.5 years and all the upheaval, it's even more important that we provide opportunities for our students to excel and find their strength. Whatever that is, whether it be in athletics or and this is an elective opportunity where they can be team leaders and they can be participating in programs in higher education. And then if they choose to go into military service, they're getting a little bit of a head start because they're dealing with that integrity, character, team responsibilities. And we have in our own house, we have a former student board member that's now studying at West Point. So we know that there's value in higher education, whether they go there or they go to any place. I'm just all on board for this, and I want to thank you for bringing it to our attention and bringing it to forward for us to have this opportunity. I think it's going to be another one of those great opportunities that Vasquez can offer to its students.
Thank you, sir. I would like to add one other thing, and the other thing is when we talk about leadership, we have within the Cadet Corps what we call the 10th Corps. This is made up of students from all over the state, which are part of the student staff of the Cadet Corps. These students every year plan every major function that the cadets participate in, the drill competitions, the summer encampment, the XTC games, or we call them extreme games. It's kind of like Olympics for cadets, but you must participate as a team, not an individual. So IMA, which is the Individual Merit Awards, that's kind of like the Cadet of the Year. This is open to all of the cadets from all over the state, and it's all planned and implemented by the cadets themselves.
Thank you, Dennis, for coming in this evening and answering our questions. We appreciate it. All right, here we go. Moving on, we have 8 Personnel Pupil Services, 8A Personnel Action Report. Motion to consider.
A motion.
Chad, Dr. Zahaki.
Thank you, Mr. Jorgensen. We don't have any amendments to the PAR this evening. I could defer to Ms. Shaw, Assistant Superintendent over HR, if there's any comments that she'd like to go ahead and impart with the board.
I don't have any comments at this time.
Board member discussion. Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph abstain.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. The motion passes 4-0-1. 8B, Building and Construction CTE Teacher Job Description. Motion to consider.
Kelly Jensen, so moved.
Kelly,
I'll second.
Brianna, Dr. Zahaki.
Thank you. This is a newly developed job description for our district, Building and Construction CTE, Career Technical Education Teacher. This is very specific to, thank you trustees for approving the Career Connections elective class, Building and Trade, over at Vasquez for fall 2022. This will be the job description to help recruit for the part-time position CTE for Building and Construction. Thank you.
Board member discussion. I just have one comment that I want to touch base on. I think that this is a kind of like the follow-up program to Makerspace that we have over at Meadowlark, and then what was it?
We have Paxton Patterson and High Desert.
Paxton Patterson at High Desert, where Makerspace, they start thinking about what they want to do. And then at High Desert, it evolves to the next level where they can actually start choosing which field, whether it be medicine, construction, whatever. And then this here is one of those, the pathways that will get them, and the students that participate in this will have that heads up when they graduate with that, getting close to an apprenticeship where they can go straight to work if they're choosing to do so, and that's fine. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Falls Graph, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. Motion carries 5-0. 8C, General Career Technical Education CE Teacher Job Description. Motion to consider.
Kelly Jensen, so moved.
Kelly,
I'll second.
Brianna, Dr. Sahaki.
Thank you. It's our intent. Thank you again, Sergeant Serkin and California Cadets. It's our intent to bring forward at the regular board meeting on August 11th, an action item to approve, hopefully, the California Cadet program. Ties into the general career technical education job description. And speaking with Sergeant Serkin in terms of seeing, what applies for a teacher to facilitate the California Cadet Corps program. Typically, it's a general career technical education teacher. So we developed a new job description for our district. And what you see attached to item C is the job description that we would like to post. Thank you.
Board member discussion.
Just one more comment. I saw the great article in the Antelope Valley Press this week. I think it's great to have some good news for our district. So I want to take this opportunity, since we will not have board comments this evening, to make sure that what we're talking about tonight is included in the signature programs that we talked about in the Antelope Valley Press. Just to name a few very quickly. Very quickly, they just went over a couple of programs that we've started here. So I think it's important that our community knows the great programs that we've had here, especially recently under some of the news that we've been in. So Avid, Career Connections, the CTE program with the A through G requirements. I want everybody to know how important that is. The makerspace at Meadowlark. I don't even know if everybody knows that we're having a makerspace in Meadowlark. So we'll be definitely having a ribbon cutting contest, ribbon cutting for that. Online tutoring for our 6th through 12th grade students in Paxton Patterson. We had 19 employees pictured on the Antelope Valley Press that attend the Avid. I have attended Avid. I'm Avid certified. I'm in charge of Avid within my job. I will tell you that sitting through Avid for many days is not an easy task, and it looks like they're having a great time. They're all smiling, by the way. There's a lot of activities. They work you hard. So I would like to thank our staff for that. And I just want to point that out because we will not have that opportunity. But since we're talking about the CTE program, I want to highlight that it was mentioned. I think it's deserved that we have some great things. But one of the things you said, Dr. Sahakian, which I loved, he said, we're trying to engage the whole child. Not everybody's going to be college bound. Not everybody's going directly to work. It could be a combination of college and career. And that's where the Avid program comes into play as well. So I think it's important to note that we are trying to educate the whole child, give them lots of different opportunities. I know when I first started as a board member, some parents were talking to me about, we don't want our kids to go like, why are you guys pushing college, blah, blah, blah. We're not pushing anything other than opportunity and choice. There's a big difference there. You do not want to tell a 16-year-old, you don't have to go to college because you already decide you're going to do this. And then they decide, I'm 20 and I suddenly want to go to college, or I don't. Whatever that is. We want to give our students opportunities to have lots of different choices. So I thank you for bringing this to the board this evening for the CTE, because I think that gives choice and opportunity and engagement and pride and leadership to our district. So despite of things that we've been hearing lately, we're doing great things in our school district. So I'm going to point that out. I don't want it to go unsaid. So we are about educating children, and I think sometimes we forget that. We get caught up in what adults are doing around here. We are here for children, and the adults need to be behind the children. All of us do. So I just want to know that this makes me proud that we can show that we are about kids in our district. So thank you.
I just want to, acknowledge the Avid program, because I know we had it way back in 03, 04. And for whatever it went away, but I was really appreciative of seeing the staff that were participating in the training, because even after Avid left, I used Avid techniques and strategies in my class, physical education and health, for the entire time. Its efficiency, the students' efforts and grades were better. It helps them organize, helps them study. It's just a great program for students. So congratulations to our staff that are going to have the privilege of working with Avid, because they're going to find it's going to make their jobs more effective and meaningful in the classroom when they start engaging the students. Call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Paul Giraffe, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. The motion carries 5-0. 9A, notice of election for Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District. This is for information. Dr. Zahakian.
Yes, thank you. On July 8th, my office received a formal notification of election for a district that will be held on November 8th of this year. The notice itself must be posted at the district office. And Mr. Jorgensen, a copy of the letter. Thank you.
Those who are observing, it says enclosed is a copy of the notice of election of Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District to be held on November 8, 2022. The Registrar Recorder County Clerk's Elections Coordination Unit forwarded the notice to the designated newspaper for publication pursuant to election codes 12113. The notice must be posted, as Dr. Hawkins said, in the district office. Also enclosed for the reference is a calendar of events for the election. This office has prepared a candidate handbook resource guide, which will be available on the Registrar Recorder County Clerk's website at www.lavote.gov. If there's any questions, contact the Election Coordination Unit at area code 562-462-2912 or by email at ecu@rrcc.lacounty.gov. And the notice that will be posted, the notice of election, there's just a lot of detail there that gives dates. The primary date, the dates open, I think, on July 12th and must be concluded, all paperwork must be concluded by August 12th. And there's other particular information. So this will be posted at the front office of the
Yes,
district
sir.
office.
As
So
well as the
anybody can
website.
walk in the front desk and see that and snap a picture of it. Cool.
Excuse me, on the website as well, correct?
Yes. Okay, moving on. Oh, board member comment?
Yes. My house. I have been elected to sit up here every time.
I have lived all kinds of things up here. I have watched people influence the bond from up here, use the color of their office to do just about anything. Run through the community and associate me with felons. I'm not in prison anymore. Like I'm some kind of sitting duck or something. So we all start getting crazy up here. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. This is not a political platform for you to be up here pandering to anybody or pushing your agenda. And that speaker microphone is not a place for you to build a platform a year and a half ahead of the election. And then, which is basically violating, there's a certain time to put up your sign, there's a certain time to do those kinds of things. So do that. What else do we got here? Yeah, we don't go to school sites and campaign. We don't go to school sites and give employees direction or give the superintendent specific direction. We don't do those things. So we don't go to school sites and pander to the employees and put them in a weird position. We don't encourage them to make buttons that say vote for anybody but can. Yeah, we don't do that. That's not what we do. If you do that up here, I'm going to call you out immediately. And then I'm going to call the registrar's office and report and pull the footage and say, yeah, look at this. You have a responsibility up here to win the votes by your actions. Don't take shortcuts, especially up here. If I hear things coming from there, that's not a platform to campaign. I don't want to see signs, buttons, and other scrap apparatus for your campaign on school property anywhere. Please don't let me find that. Let's run a clean fight, people.
(10A), upcoming future agenda items.
I have something I'd like to add to the agenda. I don't know necessarily that it will be next time it's summer, but I just named several things that we've done that was included in the Antelope Valley Press, not including a million other things that we've been doing in a short time. I'd like to remind everyone, whether it's campaigning, whatever's happening, we're always about the business of children. And I think that we need to get back to that and we need to highlight what's going on. I would like on some agendas, I would like some highlighting some of our our programs that we're doing, not just by us commenting or anyone here. I want to see children, I want to see teachers, whoever, highlighting our programs that we have going on, because apparently we forget that. I just named like 7 things. I could name probably 15 in 1 year. And so I want to be clear, because not everybody understands education. To get one thing done takes a very long time. Whether it's contracts, money, voting, talking, changing systems, registration, all of these things have to happen. And they've been happening despite all of the noise that's been going on about certain things. So I would like to have some people in here to show the great signature item things that we have going on in this district. I mean, even I'm looking at you, great technology things that are happening in our district. That, by the way, I didn't even name tonight. So we have lots of great things going on. So I would like every board meeting, as long as I'm a board member here, whether, like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be 2 weeks from now because you need time to comment. But after that, as long as I'm here as a board member, I want to see every week somebody up there. Something good coming out of the microphone that's productive, that highlights the children that we work for in this district, because I think some people have forgotten that recently. I have not. I haven't made a lot of friends in the district. It's okay. I didn't go to the 4th of July party because I was called out by some of my friends up here. I couldn't even go to the 4th of July because I thought for sure, I was going to get hosed out there. So I didn't feel comfortable even going in my own community after everything that's happened recently. But as long as I'm here, I want kids up there. I want teachers up there, the people that are doing the work up here and working for our children. That's who I want to see up here from the next this time, the following, I want to see kids up here every single board meeting. That's what we're about, and we forget that. So we need to go have some reminders every week.
I would second that.
Well, I have a question. Kelly, are you campaigning?
I am not campaigning.
Okay, then you get the sitting duck award. Yeah, I'm all over that too.
Let me tell you what I am, not for a board seat. I'm campaigning for our children. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, I am campaigning. I'm campaigning for children.
Tim, it's your turn, buddy.
I would just like to second that. I would love to see that. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I think that's something that we can work on, that have something where, and it happens what happens, what sites doing what. And so, yeah, we've had a lot of marginal things, said, but they've, in between all that stuff, our kids have worked hard to recover, and our staff has worked hard to recover. And it's not unknown to me that we have students working very, very hard to excel, that are preparing to go to college. And we have students scoring 5s on AP tests. And we need to acknowledge those students that make that extraordinary success, because a lot of it was during online learning, and that they still prepared themselves to the degree that they could score a 5 on an AP test. The whole 18 years that I was at Vasquez, I only know of 1 4. I've never heard of a 5. And we have a student that's acquired 3 5s in the last year. 1 last year and 2 this year so far. So that to me is extraordinary. The staff that support all these things that are happening at our sites, and that's the high school. But I know there's great things happening at High Desert, and I know there's good things happening at Meadowlark. We need to support those students and those staff that are doing that work. Thank you.
Happy to take the charge. We'll highlight our programs starting August 11th. Thank you.
All right, 11A calendar. The next regular board meeting will be returning from recess on August 11th, and then have our second meeting in August on August 25th. Item 12, adjournment. Do I have a motion to consider adjournment?
So moved. Kelly.
Kelly. Chad seconds. Is there any board member discussion? Hearing none, call the question.
Kelly Jensen, I.
Paul Scrap, aye.
Brianna Texoni, aye.
Chad Wadsworth, aye.
Tim Jorgensen, aye. The motion to adjourn is approved. We will adjourn at 8:30. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. We'll see you August 11th. Everybody have fun summer.